And we're back with Senator Jeff Flake talking about his new book, Conscience of a Conservative, and how he would fix Washington. I just want to get back. I made an observation that it might seem you're having things both ways, criticizing President Trump, and yet, as you kind of noted, you vote with him about his positions 94% of the time.
Well, most of what a Senate does in the first 6 months of an administration is approve the president's cabinet picks, in this case, the Supreme Court justice and other federal court picks. There are, I think, 1,500 positions that are subject to Senate confirmation. So that's a lot of what we've been doing. But like I said, the president, when he puts forward conservative policy, I support it. On the regulatory front, Congress passed 13, I believe, of these congressional review acts. One of them I sponsored myself, that the president signed. On the regulatory policy, I think that part of the reason the economy is doing very well now is that companies, small and large, look forward and see that they won't have to deal with as many meddlesome regulations than they had before, and that's helped the economy.
The White House.
I will support him when he's doing good things, and frankly, his cabinet picks are stellar. We met with Mattis and Tillerson last week in a classified briefing on North Korea. Man, I'm glad they are there. They are good people, and his Supreme Court pick, Neil Gorsuch, was absolutely stellar.
What do you think President Trump would think if he read this book?
You know,
I
believe if he read the whole thing, and I hope that he does.
He's going to go. Well, no, he's going to look for the parts that say Trump. What's he going to think?
Well, I think, like I said, that if I were in his position, I would hope that people in my party would call me out when I was exhibiting behavior or saying things that they felt weren't in keeping with the party or its values.
You talk about the need to go back to regular order in the book. You've talked about that before. Yep. Why didn't regular order happen when the Obamacare repeal was discussed, when there were 4 votes on that?
Part of it was that there was some sense of urgency here with the insurance markets imploding, and that if we had gone through all the committees, assigned it to 4 committees or whatever, and gone through all that, that we'd come to a point where you know, it was too late, and they'd pulled out. Having said that, that's where we are now, and we're going to be going back to the committee, and that's good. Lamar Alexander, Patty Murray, Republican and Democrat, will sit down and try to fix this.
So you talk about conservative principles. You say regular order is important, and yet you cast that vote for a yes vote on the skinny repeal as your book was being shipped to stores.
Right.
You cast a yes vote on a bill that was only introduced 2 hours, 3 hours before. Nobody had read. Nobody knew what it would do. How is that sticking to conservative principles?
I have promised for years that I would repeal and replace Obamacare.
No matter what?
No, let me explain. There's a lot of concern here in Arizona. The governor has raised very legitimate concern about what happens to the Medicaid population, and there was concern on that. And when the other bills were introduced, there were amendments prepared, but we never got to the other bills to deal with the Arizona issues there. What we voted on in the end, the skinny repeal, would not have even touched Medicaid. It would have simply touched the exchange. And this morning,
a lot of people without insurance.
That's what I'm talking about. This morning, more than 183,000 Arizonans woke up without insurance. They paid the fine, totaling about $39 million for all of them, but they don't have any insurance. An equal number or a larger number have a policy, but they can't afford to use it because they pay the premiums, but the deductibles are so high. A friend of mine, in fact, has a premium of $1,500 a month for his family. And
tens of thousands of people more would have lost their insurance with a yes vote on the skinny
That is not true. That is not true. That is not true.
Not true.
That assumes that we're not going to take care of pre-existing conditions in another way.
But who knew what was going to happen? Ultimately, conservative principles, regular order, voting for a bill, and not voting for a bill
this wasn't the end
Senate
result.
Would be killed by the House.
No, not killed.
Killed by the House. Or killed. No, this is
no, conferenced. There's a difference. Conference means you actually go and work on it. But I can tell you, there are people in Arizona hurting. Most of the focus is on the Medicaid population, and that is a significant population. But there are also hundreds of thousands of Arizonans who had insurance and no longer have it. They had insurance before Obamacare, and they don't have it now because the insurance markets collapsed.
Great discussion. I'm afraid I have to end it there. Senator Jeff Flake, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.